Is BullionVault a good place to buy, own and store physical gold and silver? That's going to be the topic of today's video. So BullionVault are a British company who specialize in people who want to own, store, buy and sell physical gold, silver, and I think they've also gone to other metals now like platinum. And they accept numerous currencies like the US dollar, euro, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to speak about the solution today. Now, if this is the first time on your channel, I'm Adam and I specialize in helping expats and high net worth individuals diversify and optimize their wealth. You can go over to adamfire.com if you want to find out more. Now, BullionVault, let's talk about the good and bad things to begin with. The good things are their system does work very well in terms of they offer a secure way to invest in physical gold, silver and other precious metals. And that is something that most companies don't do. I think there have been some copycats in recent years, but they're one of the biggest. I think they're actually the biggest firm of their kind now in the world. It's relatively cheap. For many people, they're paying 0.5% or less. There is also usually always a buyer and a seller because there are so many people on the platform. The way it works is even though you own the physical gold or silver or whatever, there are always buyers and sellers provided there's somebody out there on their system wants to buy or sell. So there's a 99.99% chance you're always going to find a seller if you really need to sell out. And that takes away one of the huge negatives with physical gold, that traditionally you'd need to find a buyer, you would need to store the gold, you would need to pay for insurance. Whereas what BullionVault are doing is they're using technology to say, well, we're going to decrease the cost. So the insurance is going to be paid for by all the users, so it's relatively cheap. And likewise, because it's digital, but you still have access to the gold, you can actually be reassured you can find a seller just like you're buying a gold ETF, for example. And also you do own the gold. So if you own above a certain amount of gold, they will actually ship the gold to certain locations around the world. So it is quite a unique model, or at least it was unique before more firms actually went into this niche. But what are the negatives with BullionVault? I think the main negatives go beyond the company, and that's more the concept of itself of investing in gold and silver. Basically, gold and silver doesn't actually do that well long term. If you look at any kind of long-term graph of gold and silver and other metals, it's a loser long term. It also doesn't pay any dividends, yields and so on. Also, it's a huge misconception to say that it does well during kind of economic turbulence. So if you look at the last 20 years, a prime example, from 2000 until 2011, gold had a great period. But when was that period interrupted? Well, during the 2008 financial crisis, gold fell from over 1,000 to about 695 during the height. Likewise, gold between 2016-17 and maybe 2021 had a pretty good period, but it was interrupted again during the COVID crisis. So actually gold is more something that when people are a little bit concerned or even relatively concerned, it can do quite well. But when people are panicking, like they were during 2008 or COVID, people go to government bonds and the US dollar and so on. Gold usually does fall, albeit not as much as the general stock market when there is a big crash. So the next time that the US stock market falls, say 10% or 20%, maybe you can expect gold could go up a little bit or maybe hold its value. But the next time there's actually a panic, something similar to 2008, I would not expect gold to go up, or silver for that matter. Silver's more of an industrial metal. So the only reason to own gold really is diversification in your portfolio. If you have 5 or 10% in gold, it's not going to help you actually get better returns, but it will kind of reduce the volatility in your portfolio, because there will be certain periods where, you know, gold will do well, whereas the stock market won't do so well, and vice versa. So gold is more something to hold just a small percent of your portfolio at most. But with something like BullionVault, because it's a standalone kind of platform, you can't invest in stocks and shares and other assets on the platform. You can't rebalance from one to the other. Whereas if you have gold ETFs as part of a wider portfolio and gold does well or it does badly, you could just rebalance between the different assets on your platform. But that's not really something that BullionVault can do anything about. They have their concept, they have their idea, they've done very well using this particular idea. So it isn't a bad investment platform at all for people who are looking to buy physical gold and silver. But you've got to remember as well, an ETF is actually much cheaper. You can get a gold ETF for 0.1%. BullionVault does cost more than that. So it's very good if you're looking for that kind of thing, but I would question why you're looking at it in the first place. A lot of people who are looking to buy physical gold and silver, they're doing it for the wrong reasons. They think, well, if the apocalypse happens or something like that, or there's really bad economic times, it'll be good to own gold and silver, and that's simply not true.